Have you ever read a book and wondered to yourself, was this written for me? Because that's exactly how I felt when I read Lou Giroux, NOPD Detective. Y'all know that I am no stranger to werewolves, whether it be in books, movies, or television. If there is a lycanthrope story out there, I can't wait to get my grubby little hands on it and devour it. So when I was casually scrolling on Instagram and this book by J.E. Jack popped up, I was intrigued. Werewolves in New Orleans? Say less, this is my brand. The cover itself is gorgeous, depicting a stereotypical detective strolling through the streets of the French Quarter with the full moon looming over with a wolf howling. There's nothing better than that. If the 1985 song Moon Over Bourbon Street by Sting could be an image, a story, this right here is it. There's a moon over Bourbon Street. So today I want to dive into the details of this book that has quickly become one of my favorites on my shelf. But before we get into the details, if you're a returning viewer, hey, how you doing? Welcome back. And if you're new here, this is Nerd Squish, where we take everything spooky and we take everything nerdy and we squish it all together. So if you like horror movies, werewolves, and pop culture, definitely hit that subscribe button so you can see more videos from us in the future. Okay, so you guys are wondering, here she is. She's ranting about another werewolf thing. What could possibly be so interesting and so unique about this one? Let me tell you. So our main character, obviously, is Lou Giroux, who is a werewolf that works for the New Orleans Police Department. And he essentially keeps the peace between the human world and the supernatural creatures of the Crescent City. A body is found one night that unravels a trail of death, so Lou has to team up with his vampire partner Dick, and they have to figure out which supernatural force is behind the death and destruction in the city of New Orleans. The thing that I absolutely love about this book is you're not seeing the New Orleans that is usually depicted in pop culture. There is a lot to New Orleans, and it is so hard to really describe it at all. It's something you need to experience. But most movies, books, television shows, they're really only going to show you the French Quarter. Like, according to pop culture, that's all that exists when it comes to New Orleans. Just Bourbon Street, Mardi Gras, we are beignets, we have pet gators, and that's really all you ever see of New Orleans. But there is so much more to the greater New Orleans area, and this book beautifully depicts that. Your boy Lou Giroux lives in my hometown of Algiers, which is a neighborhood of New Orleans and the only portion of Orleans Parish that is located on the West Bank.
I'm on the East Bank, I'm on the West Bank.
I love that Lou visits and talks about so many parts of New Orleans that typically don't get shine. The fact that he lives in Algiers and frequents the Crown and Anchor bar makes me so insanely happy. It's those small little details that really just make this book amazing for me. And that is not the only part of the West Bank that gets attention in this story. Little tiny spoiler warning here, if you don't want to know like major details and you want to read this and just be like, oh wow, when things happen, stop here, go read the book, come back. We're gonna talk some details here. You see, the second body that's found in this case is found in City Park, and it is cut up into pieces, and each piece is strategically placed on top of a map of the city, revealing where you can find more bodies. And this takes them to multiple places, one of them being Gretna. One of the bodies is found in the Gretna caboose. Now, if you know, you know. But if you don't, in the historic town of Gretna, there is a little red caboose. They even have a restaurant named Gretna Depot, because yes, I got my Mardi Gras cup for it, okay? And this is a deep cut. And as somebody that's from New Orleans, that's from the West Bank, that knows all these areas, it was amazing for me to read. I don't know if you're not familiar with the area, how this would come off, if you just be like, I don't know, the equivalent of when you're reading a fantasy book and they got the map in the beginning and they talk about, you know, Mount Fashwanamere, and you're like, oh God, I don't remember where this is. Let me go reference the map in the beginning. I don't know if maybe this book could benefit from that because, again, I feel like it is a little detailed, and if you're not from the area, that part may fall a little flat, but I think there's so many other fun aspects of this book that you could still enjoy it. The story is very similar to the Dylan Dog movie. You have a detective, and he's the peacekeeper between the human world and the supernatural world in New Orleans. However, Lou Giroux improves and fully fleshes out this idea. So if you loved the idea of Dylan Dog Dead of Night, but felt like the movie kind of fell short because low-key it kind of sucked, Lou Giroux is for you. And much like Dylan Dog, you have a multitude of supernatural creatures represented in this story. Our main three supernatural creatures, starting off, of course, we have Lou, who is the West Bank werewolf. Then we have Dick, who is the high-class vampire that lives in the city. And then we have Cormac, the wizard from Jefferson Parish. And look, if you want to get deep, if you want to get nerdy with this, there's some stereotypes there that you can play with, okay? Feel free. If you're from New Orleans, you heard those monsters and you heard the areas that they live in, sound off in the comments because you know there's stereotypes there and I'm kind of living for it. And now I'm wondering what other monsters would live where in New Orleans. The character is also extremely self-aware. He breaks the fourth wall, much like Deadpool and Ferris Bueller. He talks to the audience a lot, and one of the big ways that he does this is in explaining his lycanthropy. One of the first times that he explained his wolf form made me so happy. You know what? Let me just read it to you, okay? Contrary to popular belief, I know the stories. They think that werewolves just turn into large, cutesy wolves or into a dog-like form. I don't do that, but there is a more terrifying form, even for me, and that's the beast that is within. The in-between, the half-man, half-hulking beast on two legs. Within moments, the nasty creature kicking me witnessed just that. Okay, so what you're telling me is not only are we dealing with werewolf, not only are we dealing with New Orleans, but we have my ideal design in a werewolf. If you've watched any of my werewolf design ranking videos, you know that I'm a bit of a werewolf snob. This description is my ideal werewolf. I cannot stand when a werewolf is like, oh, we're a dude, now we just turned into like a normal looking wolf. Honestly, I think Lou Giroux would get a full moon rating in one of my design videos. So I don't know, maybe, hopefully, maybe he'll get a movie one day and we can actually see him and he'll be in a rating video. I don't know, that's the dream. Not only is the design great, but the description of the transformation and the curse, it is my preferred werewolf lore. He can transform at any time, but obviously he has no choice on the full moon. The transformation is described as extremely painful, and while he can go into full wolf rage, he is able to control the curse, and he is very self-aware when he is in his werewolf form. He's not just a mindless killing machine. J.E. Jack put my ideal werewolf into a New Orleans thriller, and I love him for that. I moved from New Orleans to Texas 3 years ago, and I love living in Texas. It's clean. All the tours in the world come here. It's a food city, but I am incredibly homesick. It was a very unique place to grow up. You know, the food, the music, the culture, the people. I mean, you can't get that anywhere else. This book was a way to visit home without having to drive 6 hours. So thank you, J.E. Jack, for giving me all the comforts of home and incorporating one of my favorite monsters into that story. This book has the right amount of New Orleans nostalgia, humor, and supernatural thrills. So if you want to read a fun and not so serious story about a werewolf trying to save the ratchet streets of New Orleans, I highly recommend Lou Giroux, NOPD Detective. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I haven't done a solo book review in a while, but your girl loves an opportunity to nerd out about werewolves because, you know, it's just a howling good time. I just bought this and it's very exciting. Okay, sorry about that. I just found that yesterday at a vintage toy store and I might be a little excited about it. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so when new videos hit the channel, you'll be notified. And as always, thank y'all for watching, and I'll catch you nerds later.